little sports with you, Ags. David Nuño here with TexAgs Radio. If you missed the show this week, you missed this.
No, I think the SEC is pretty set where they are, but it was interesting. I had Brandon Marcello on my show today on Locked on SEC, and he was at ACC Media Days, and he's kind of making the rounds. And he said the vibe he's getting from all these other conferences is everybody's talking about chasing the SEC. Everybody's talking about what can we do to catch up to them, whereas the SEC, they're the trendsetters. They're the ones saying, nah, we expanded to 16 and we're good. I think what we're going to see, Nuño, the next step is people jumping ship from the ACC. I think it's Florida State, Miami, Clemson. I don't know where they're going. Maybe it is, discussions about maybe entertaining coming to the SEC. But I think that's the next step is we're going to see the Pac-12 start to deteriorate. We're going to see the ACC start to deteriorate. I think the Big 12 is actually doing a pretty good job. I think Yormark's lining up his ducks in a row saying, we're going to just take the best of what's available.
Best show ever, TexAgs Radio, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. on The Zone.
The NLS Braille and Audio Reading Download, or BARD, web-based service, and BARD mobile app give patrons the freedom to read their way. Listen to their stories.
BARD is this beautiful web-based program for searching for books and for the ability to download them.
Now, this next step with BARD Mobile has just been a tremendous innovation.
It's a great way to have a book with you without carrying a book.
Wherever I go, BARD Mobile, the library services is with me.
When you discover you have an impairment, it can change your life. So take a little time to find the resources that are going to help you restore what you've lost.
For more information about the National Library Service for the Blind and Physically Handicapped Library of Congress, visit loc.gov/thatallmayread or call 1-888-NLS-READ.
You have some dough. It's lunchtime, but there's no way you would eat just dough for lunch, right? Well, the good thing is, I have some cheese. Your friend has some tomato sauce. This random guy on the street has pepperoni in his backpack. If we bring all these ingredients together, we end up with something much better than any of them alone. A savory pizza for lunch. But each of us has not only different ingredients, but also different opinions coming from our different life experiences. If we bring all these experiences and all these opinions together in friendly, civil conversation, we end up with opinions and ideas that are better than any of our individual opinions before. So if we want to come up with better ideas for a better world,
what we really need are civil, civic conversations. Pizzas. It's an American thing. AmericanThing.org.
Aggieland, this is your home for Texas A&M basketball. The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. You're listening to KZD College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. College Station and Bryan firefighters respond to an apartment fire yesterday.
Firefighters arriving at the scene saw flames coming out of a second-story window of a single building at the Pearl Apartments in College Station. In a Facebook post, CSFD stated that several residents were displaced and no injuries were reported. The cause of the fire has not been released. For 1620 94.5 WTAW, I'm Ian Curtis.
Bryan Police continues investigating a murder that took place Monday night 3 blocks south of Midtown Park. Mayor Bobby Gutierrez tells listeners on WTAW that the 22-year-old victim, while he was still conscious, would not tell officers who shot him.
Nobody's going to say, well, he shot me. And there's never any witnesses. So, yes, we're doing everything we can, but how do you go arrest anybody when there's never any witnesses?
Monday's murder came 2 weeks after Bryan Police took reports of 8 vehicle burglaries in the same neighborhood. That led to the arrests of a 16 and 17-year-old. A College Station man is admitted to a home invasion robbery that took place 3 years ago. A plea agreement between 25-year-old R.A. Terrell III and Brazos County District Attorney's Office includes a 10-year prison sentence and no right to appeal. Suspended Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has a legal team defending him against 20 articles of impeachment.
My first thought was these are worthless and weak.
The team is led by a former member of the Texas A&M Systems Board of Regents, Tony Busby.
Ken Paxton will never be convicted by the Senate. Not on this evidence, not with this record, and not when the fact is the allegations are completely untrue.
Busby, who held a news conference that was streamed on his Facebook page, says he has identified 66 witnesses that need to be deposed, and he will be submitting thousands of documents in defending Paxton. For more news, go online to WTAW.com. Follow us on social media at WTAW1620. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
We're here with Jackson Rollo from Rollo Insurance. And Jackson, you guys have been around for a long time. You're the very best at what you do. But I ask you, why Rollo Insurance?
Well, we've been growing recently with over 45 offices in multiple states, but we haven't lost who we are. We're still super focused on being hyper-local and involved in the communities in which you're going to find a Rollo Insurance office. And we offer products like home, auto, life, health, and business insurance from some of the top carriers in our industry.
You name it, they do it. Visit RolloInsurance.com.
Since 1957, Slovakic Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovakic is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovakic. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovakic Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hillcosupply.com. Texas A&M Baseball's Jace Lavalette has been named to the Freshman All-American team by Collegiate Baseball Newspaper. The left-handed slugger from Katy Tompkins High School hit .287 and led the Aggies in home runs, RBIs, and stolen bases. He set the freshman home run record with 21 home runs and was 2 steals away from becoming A&M's second player ever with 20 homers and 20 steals in the same season. The Aggies are currently competing at the NCAA Track and Field Championship running through Saturday. Sam Hankins highlighted day 1 with a 5th-place finish in the javelin as the men's track and field team completed day 1 in Austin. The women will open competition today. Texas A&M women's golf announced the hiring of 3-time LPGA Tour winner and 2011 NCAA national champion Austin Dodds as an assistant coach. Dodds played 2 seasons of collegiate golf at LSU. She turned pro after her sophomore season and still holds the 7th lowest stroke average in program history and became the first LSU golfer in program history to win an NCAA Division I individual championship. In the Women's College World Series, Oklahoma took Game 1 over Florida State 5-0 for their 52nd straight win. Game 2 is tonight with a 6:30 start. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Sean Burnett.
Each week on the Louie Bellina Show, we go in the pit with barbecue pit master Bryce Jones. In the Pit, brought to you by Dixie Tire Company. Need a certain brand of custom wheels, auto accessories, truck lift kits? You need a flat tire repaired, tire and wheel rotation, or more? It's Dixie Tire Company. Sure, we talk a little barbecue, but we talk maroon and white, Astros, and more. It's In the Pit each week on the Louie Bellina Show with barbecue pit master Bryce Jones.
If I'm gonna do this, I'll need my news team at my side.
News team, assemble!
Howdy, Aggieland. Welcome to the SEC.
Our program will be built on 4 principles in which I talk about all the time: toughness, effort, discipline, and pride.
Dang it! I'm going to have to buy that boy cream cone.
Now I'm distracted on my point. What were we talking about?
It's bullcrap. All I care about is winning. Show me the dang baby.
You do it till they do it right, and then you do it till they can't do it wrong.
Go get him. Why are you dancing around? Eat him like he's a steak.
He fits what TexAgs Radio is about. He fits into what the listeners are going to want. He's a pro on every level.
It's Nuño and the crew on TexAgs Radio. Right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
Hey, records on my demo. Did y'all boys not get the memo?
Well, hello, wrong camera. David Nuño here. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. Thank you to everybody. I'm a little fired up this morning. I might do the old switcheroo and change up our rundown here in a little bit because there's a topic that came in front of me before the show started. Got to apologize to you guys. Yesterday I had to leave the show early, mid-show, but My mom had a little accident. She's good. She's at the hospital. She's all right. So I had to go take care of situations back in Houston. But luckily, it wasn't as bad as it was initially thought. So she's probably, I don't know if she's got internet in her room. I mean, if she knows how to do it. But if she was at home, she'd be watching and sending me a text in a few minutes saying, "Hi, David, I like your shirt." But she'll be able to do that next week when she's back at home. But thanks to all of you who rolled with it yesterday. So I'm at the hospital. I'm doing some research. You know, like it's kind of like doing an interview with athletes when you go to the hospital, right? For a loved one. When you interview athletes, you hurry up and wait. That's what you do, right? You run to the locker room and wait. Press conference at 2:00. You hurry to the press conference and you wait for them to be done with their shower or whatever they got to do. Like, that's what you do. And at the hospital, same way. You hurry up. I got to get to the hospital right now. And then I get there and I got to wait for the doctor for a while. And so I was doing a lot of reading and came across ESPN's 2023 college football preview, an early look at the biggest games, players, and storylines. A couple things caught my attention in that, and A&M was mentioned a couple different times. But I think, and Nick, tell me if this is okay. Nick, good morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Do you mind if I do the old switcheroo and switch around 820 to 805?
Switch it around, man.
All right. So I came across a soundbite, and let me go ahead and tell you, I'm not mad at the soundbite. You know, mad was 2022. 2023 is happy, right? 2022, I was reacting to all these sound bites about A&M. You go 5-7, you can't get mad. You just got to be like, okay, it happened.
How'd you sound again?
You got to move your arms.
Kind of like Olin.
Yeah.
Where's your back scratcher?
Hey, he's listening. Texting 3, 2, 1. Anyway, came across a soundbite from Hunter Yurachek, the Arkansas athletic director. I didn't see it on our boards anywhere, so I don't know how many people have heard this. But he throws a little shade at our guy, Bobby Petrino. I will say it was not, you heard it, right, Nick? It's not mean. He was trying to be funny.
Yeah, listen to it. Yeah, he's making a little joke.
He's just trying to be funny. Just trying to be funny out there. And if it's not our guy, I could see why people would chuckle. But he's our guy, so I got his back. I got Bobby's back. And I'm going to play this bite because there's a couple things that popped out to me. All right? Let's go to it.
Well, geez, do we have anybody? Is it on camera? No. Kevin, can I say it? Can I say it? I'm going to say it, Kevin. We're 45,000 on our way to 50,000 season tickets sold this year. That will be the most that we've had sold since the motorcycle accident. Since the motorcycle accident, we took a dip. Now we're back up on this. Coach Pittman's got us headed in the right direction. I have forbid him from getting on motorcycles, by the way.
This is what jumped out at me. If you saw the clip, he was proud of that joke. You see that face he made? Like, I got it. I nailed it. Like he had rehearsed it in the bathroom. I nailed it. And the other thing is, like, you knew, like it seems to me, I might be wrong. By the way, I don't think it's a mean, it's whatever. But he looks over at his SID. He's like, should I do it? We talked about it before the show. Should I do it? Here I go. And he drops the line. So those two, he was very proud of the joke. He kind of does it 3 different times. It was on all good fun, whatever. I don't have a problem with it. I'm sure many of you are going to be like lambasting the dude. It was whatever. But can we please get away from old jokes? How long ago was the freaking Petrino motorcycle thing? And I don't want to make a thing about that, but it was like over 10 years ago, right? I think maybe it was 2012. So it got me thinking, what other things can we just get rid of the old jokes, right? Let's get rid of stuff that, like, we don't need to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear that one anymore. I don't. I've heard it enough. He's our guy now. I feel like since he's been here, we hear it every couple weeks. All right? How about another one? Can we stop with Houston, we have a problem? Yeah, the problem is that joke. Every time anything in Houston goes bad, Houston, we got a problem. Weather, sports, anything. Freaking, like, interest rates. Houston, we got a problem. Like, come on. Can we stop? And the trash can jokes? Done. How long ago was 2017? Can you do the math for me, Luke? 6 years. Thanks for your approval. Thank you very much. Those are done, right?
For talking about Astros stuff, the Altuve buzzer, that's just silly. That's just been proven wrong.
Yes, can we be done with that? I got one for the Rangers because he's my guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got one for the Rangers.
Let's hear it.
Every time people talk about Canseco, my dude, steroids, which I think you can't. There's just, there's no statute of limitations with him and steroids, but the ball bouncing off his head.
Oh yeah.
Like every time I talked, last week here in studio, somebody brought it up. Remember that one time he had the ball, and they said it like that, like Hunter did. Hunter Yurchek in that video, like they was like very proud. Remember the time the ball hit his head? So done with that one. You had one in our pre-show because we kind of talked about it pre-show. You had one that popped up.
Yeah, Texas 8-4.
Talking about A&M.
Talking about A&M. Yeah, Texas A&M, Texas 8-4. Saw that a lot on Twitter. I guess I see it a lot on Twitter, just people trolling A&M. That's pretty silly. The $30 million deal that gets thrown around, A&M bought, their recruiting class and all that. That's a little tiresome. But again, we're kind of biased because we're thinking of teams that, at least I am, the Astros, A&M, thinking of teams that I root for, and things get thrown our way. But those are a little tiresome in my opinion.
In our pre-show meeting, somebody brought up, we're back with Texas, and I think that one we can't use enough. I think that one, that one you can copy and paste and send it to your family members in all text messages and conversations. Like that one's fine. Luke, do you have any to add to the conversation?
Yeah, I think the schmedium jokes are getting a little bit old about your shirts, David. I think we should find something new.
See, this guy wants a promotion. This guy gets it. Luke, I am your father. You know that, buddy? That's another one that's old for you, right? Like, I am your father.
After 21 years on this planet, if I had $1 for every time I heard that, I would be the richest person in the world.
How many times have you heard it this week?
At least 8.
And I've done 3 of them, right?
4 at least.
Yeah. So there's certain things that I don't want to hear anymore. Like we're done. Deshaun Watson jokes are still fine. Texas jokes, fine. I'm saying it in joke. What else is there? I mean, I'm sure didn't somebody in the meeting bring up Ellis who?
I think that's fair game.
Yeah, I think I brought that one up. But yeah, I mean, I would agree. That's fair game.
But when you win championships every once in a while, I feel like that one's not so good. So I don't know. I'd like to hear from you guys on the A&B text line, 979-693-1150. A&B, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank, Good Texas Banking. We do have football to get into, like real conversations on the program. But we're going to check in with Mr. Nick Savage there. I know we've already talked to him. But, Nick, what's on your mind this AM?
Not much, really. I'm sorry.
Not the Big 12 bowling.
Oh, yeah, of course. That is on my mind, David. The Big 12. Where would you like to see the SEC play in a bowl game outside of the U.S.?
So,
I backtrack. I completely blew that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, hey now. Let's go back and discuss why this is a topic. All right,
yes.
So, first off, we have a rundown, and I have suggested things for Nick to go to have conversations with on the show. Not always. A lot of times he has these organic thoughts. But sometimes I'm like, hey, this would be a good talking point. Why don't you do a little research on this topic, and then we can talk about it, right? And you can kind of say it on the show. The one that I had put for him was an article that I read this morning, Big 12 mulling Monterey as the site of the first Mexico-based bowl game. I do want to say this about Brett Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner. I like him. I think he is trying things. He's making the Big 12 somewhat relevant. When you lose your cash cows in Texas and Oklahoma, and then 10 years earlier, we thought the Big 12 was going to go south when A&M left and Missouri left, and who knew what was going to happen. He has come in this new world of college football and made the Big 12 somewhat relevant, at least in his ideas, because he doesn't think the way the old school guys think. And I think that is so needed in all businesses, by the way. Like, sometimes you need a guy that's going to come in with a fresh voice. Now, sometimes those ideas do not work, but I think you have to consider that. I being a footy guy myself, I think that, like, it'd be cool to play a college football game in London or in Spain. That'd be awesome. I like the idea of a Big 12 game in Mexico, but where would you guys like to see an SEC game? Nick, you got one?
Someone back here brought up Germany earlier today. I don't know where exactly, but I think that would be cool. What didn't they play a game to kick off the season this past season in Ireland, right, or something like that? So,
Yeah.
I mean, why not there? That's cool.
A&M versus Notre Dame in Ireland. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
We get our game at Kyle Field. They don't get the game at South Bend the year after we do it in Ireland.
I'm in. I won't be going, but I'm in.
Well, you never know. By that point, they may get rid of me. Because,
Well, I mean,
things happen.
Yeah.
We go to Luke Evangelist at the News and Social Center. I know we got some text messages coming in on the topic, and a lot of the ones that are coming in are A&M related, Luke.
And yeah, they are. So the most common one that I think I see a lot on Twitter is Aggie, spelled Agggy, when referring to anything that has to do with A&M, Aggie this, Aggie that. And we've got some text messages also agreeing with that. David, what do you think about when opposing fans use that misspelling of our name to troll us on Twitter?
Chase in Houston was one of our great friends of the show bringing that one up. I hate it, but whatever. The whole troll mentality. Let me go ahead and tell you, and you guys can argue with me. I don't believe in trolling in real life. I'm not saying I'm against. Sometimes guys being guys, that's fine. You guys, people pick on their buddies. I'm fine with that. But it is not my style to do the hi Dalton, good to see you, buddy. To put the horns down or it's just whatever. I just want to win. I just want to win the freaking game. I don't need to spell the Longhorns wrong. How would you spell Longhorns wrong? Is there a way we can offend them?
Spelling horn with.
Oh yeah. Yep. We don't need to spell it. I think we get it. So yeah, in my opinion, I don't like it. I don't, and especially when they do it multiple times in a tweet. Just so you didn't see that I spelled it wrong the first time, I want to spell it wrong again. I don't like that. People do that with my last name. When I know they know my last name, but they'll purposely spell it with a Z. Come on, man. You're adding me on Twitter, so you know it's Nuno, but you're spelling it like Munoz. Come on. Really? And I just opened up the door for 100 text messages on that. All right, so we started off this morning ranting and raving, and I know there's some more text messages coming in on that topic, so we'll get to some of those when we come back here on TexAgs Radio. I do want to go into that ESPN article because A&M did come up a couple different times. Early look at the biggest games, players, and storylines, including September games that they want to see, and I kind of agree with some of those games, so we'll get into that. All right, right now, though, at least for the last time this week, because I won't be here tomorrow doing the show, I got to do this Fargo's bit without OB. It feels weird, it just does, but that's our place. And I feel like it's a romantic thing, but it's not. When you go to Fargo's, that's an OB Nuño kind of thing. It's not Elizabeth, my wife, and I, we have other places, but when it comes to Fargo's, that's an OB and I thing. But it's all right. We still know it's one of the top 50 barbecue joints in the world. That according to Texas Monthly. The food is great. The specials are awesome. The people are amazing. You got Alan, Belender, Maurice all there taking care of you. Make sure you call early to get your special on because they got weekly specials that are fantastic. And today is Thursday, which means, Luke, you paid attention to the show. What is my favorite side dish?
Catfish.
That's not a side dish.
Crunchy hush puppies.
That's not one of my favorites.
Rib tips.
That's not a side dish. Wow, but you're very good at this game. Nick, I know you know the answer to this. I'll give you time to turn on the mic. What is my favorite side dish?
Because it's mac and cheese.
Yes.
That's my favorite too.
Yeah, I would lay in mac and cheese. I would take a bath in it.
I wouldn't go that far.
It would
you make
warm.
a protein shake out of mac and cheese, like a scoop of protein powder, mac and cheese, blend it, and drink it?
Why would I do that? Why would I perfect the Mona Lisa of foods? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
That makes sense. So just a smoothie of mac and cheese. Cool.
Yeah, you can go to Fargo's for the actual barbecue, but I'm just saying the mac and cheese is great. And on Thursday, they got pork chops, mac cheese, green beans, red potatoes. Saturdays, they got the beef ribs. I skipped on Friday because Luke kind of gave it to us. The catfish, the corn, the coleslaw, and the hush puppies. Great food there at Fargo's, done the right way. 1701 South Texas Avenue in Bryan. Without a doubt, the best barbecue in town. That's a trademark because it's true. Go check it out.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. College Station Police invites you to Family Fish at the George Bush Library this Saturday morning from 7 to 11. The family-friendly event is free and open to the public. You're invited to downtown Bryan's first Festa Italiana. The event will showcase the local Italian community's favorite foods, products, and services. This family-friendly event is Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Students entering grades 8th through 12th are invited to a free cybersecurity camp at Texas A&M this summer. 3 sessions are available, but space is limited, so apply now. Visit hprc.tamu.edu. College Station Noon Lions Club is hosting the inaugural 4th of July Parade Celebration, a free community event for children and families, Tuesday, July 4th at 9 a.m. at Wolfpen Creek. Are you free afternoons from 4 to 6? Chip Howard is hiring for an assistant producer. No prior experience is required. Apply now at zone1150.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Voted best in the Brazos Valley since opening, Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue takes pride in procuring the best cuts of meat and has a passion for providing you with the best barbecue, cooked cowboy style over mesquite coals. With a full bar, large dining area, 2 party rooms, and porch with a fenced turf grass area for the kids, there's no wonder why they're the best. Experience the taste of locally Aggie-owned, nationally recognized Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue, proud supporter of Texas A&M athletics.
Searching for a new home in Aggie land? Look no further than Lone Star Realty Group. Founded in 2006 by Chad and Darla Wooten, this family-owned business is committed to building relationships and providing an excellent customer experience. At Lone Star, the golden rule is their guiding principle, and they strive to achieve outstanding results. Backed by Compass, the largest, most innovative independent brokerage in America, Lone Star Realty Group makes every client a priority and treats them like family. Experience, integrity, results. Visit LoneStarBCS.com.
To succeed in sports, athletes must do the little things to get better every day. The same applies in business. Howdy, I'm Stephanie Gomez, Treasury Management Officer from Veribank. We understand the impact of mastering the little things. We pay attention to detail to find the right product or service for your business, like tech tools to manage your cash and payments or financing options for expansion. At Veribank, we believe in better business banking every day. Visit us at veribank.com today. That's VERAbank.com.
Veribank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Gotta be connected with The Zone. Follow us on Twitter or Instagram at The Zone 1150. Like us on Facebook at The Zone 1150. Programming alerts, prize updates, scores from games all across Bryan Broadcasting, contest news, and more. Connect with us and always be in the know. Can't remember what team is playing on what station? When are they giving away what? And when is the coach on the show? Follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Zone 1150. And be sure to like us on Facebook at Zone 1150. And always be in the know.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. It's hard to look right at your baby.
Hey, I hate and love this song. Keep it going. No. Thank you. Luke, like it?
I love this song. I grew up on this song.
Thanks for making me feel like a 50-year-old because I remember this being in my 30s. Nick, you like it, right?
Yeah, sure.
It's like a terrible song, but it's catchy.
Yeah.
TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. So I mentioned that Canseco commentary in the first segment, and the guy that I was making fun of was listening. And he sent me a text saying, point of reference, you brought up Canseco. And by the way, the Rangers are in first place. He likes to make sure, like, sounds like a little inferiority complex, just a little bit every time. Got to people bring up that the Rangers are in first place. Hey, they look good. They look better than good. They look fantastic. And they've done it, with injuries and whatnot. So props to the Rangers. All right, into the topic. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can text us on the A&B text line. It is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creation. So ESPN does this college football preview, an early look at the biggest games, players, and storylines. And I'm just going to present this the way I take it. You can take it however you want. And by the way, it's not like I disagree. It's just sometimes the way the wording makes me be like, really, do we have to word it like that? So on there, it says, what exactly is going on at Texas A&M? And I'm going to read it. Last season was an abject failure, agree. The Aggies finished 5-7, 6th in the SEC West. But then 24 players started making their way to the transfer portal. I'm sorry, Luke, while I'm doing this, can you look up transfer portal numbers for all teams? Like, look at the numbers. Like, look at Alabama, look at Ole Miss. Like, I want to make sure is that a topic for other programs too? I just want to know. Thank you. But then 24 players started making their way to the transfer portal. And then Jimbo Fisher hired one of the most polarizing coaches in college football, Bobby Petrino, to be his offensive coordinator. Given Fisher's hesitancy, to give up play calling that could turn into a combustible situation if things go sideways. The early part of the schedule seems manageable. September will feature New Mexico, Miami, Louisiana, Monroe. I don't need to read the whole thing. It's probably not nice of me to do it. A rocky start could place Fisher in a $95 million contract squarely on the hot seat. So, yeah, I'm not saying I disagree with what they're saying. I mean, that it's fine. But I want to go like the way they look at A&M. And let's go to Clemson, who, by the way, had a bad season, but nothing like A&M. But they also get a new OC in Garrett Riley, right? And the way they phrase the first line, how will Garrett Riley impact Cade Klubnik's play? And they go into a whole thing, right? Because they also needed to change their offense. They bring in the hotshot coordinator. The phrasing on that sentence is a lot different than the way the A&M one was done, right? Like, why not like, how will Bobby Petrino impact the way Jimbo Fisher goes about his gig? That's just all I'm saying. Like, look, everything, it's correct. I understand why there's questions. I get all that. There should be when you go 5-7. But, like, everything's got to be about, like, we got to see how it happens because, you know, what's happening at A&M? Last year was everything that they said. But I just look at things through a different lens. Luke, were you able to find those numbers?
Yep. Colorado led the country with 56 transfers out. That's pretty much an entire two deep worth of players.
Yep.
Ole Miss 33, A&M and Oregon 31, Arizona State 30. So there's 5 programs with at least 30 transfers out.
What was like Alabama at?
Doesn't say here. Okay. So they're not in the top 10.
Okay, they weren't in the top 10. So like I don't hear that about Ole Miss. Whenever Ole Miss is mentioned, I don't hear about the 30 players. I do hear about Colorado, and I hear about A&M. And then sometimes I feel like you need to clarify a statement with like a follow-up statement like, yeah, they lost a bunch of people, but none of them were starters. Like that would be nice. Some of them left because they were told not to come back. They weren't going to come back anyway, right? Like there's more to the story than like, oh my gosh, I'm leaving. I can't take it here. And if you look at the production that stayed, that tells you more of the story, in my opinion. So that came up. It also brings up the Alabama quarterback situation. The default opinion on Alabama's quarterback situation, hey, it's Alabama. It'll get figured out. And look, I was reminded that Bama has won many times with average quarterback play or average quarterbacks, right? I've been reminded of that recently because of their stellar defense or great offensive line. The reason all this is a topic now is for a couple reasons. Alabama's offense has changed, or the way they go about business has changed from being a solid defensive, tough-minded run team to what we see now with Bryce Young and what we saw with Tua and what we saw before, right? Like Jalen Hurts. They've kind of evolved over the years. So now the quarterback in all of college sports and all of football, not only has it always been important, but there's more of an emphasis on your quarterback play. And you go from one of the best you've ever had to 3 guys you don't know what they're going to do. You don't know. So that's why there's those questions. You lose one of your best defensive players, and you lose one of your best offensive players, 2 generational players. There's going to be questions about that. Yeah, the quarterback situation is a legit conversation piece. Also, intriguing games. And we'll probably later on in the summer go through deeper dive into some of these early games in the season. The first one listed is the one that I think about the most. I'm really intrigued by LSU and Florida State because Florida State has turned into these media darlings. Everybody loves them. And by the way, I think Mike Norvell is doing a nice job. He had a couple of rough patches, no doubt, but he's done a nice job. I'm very interested what happens there. Because are they really this juggernaut of a team that could win a national championship? Or are they just a team that beat up on some bad teams last year and they got LSU as they were trying to figure out who they really were or really are? I'm intrigued by it. I want to see who LSU really is. The return of Jaden Daniels year 2, Brian Kelly year 2. There's a lot of storylines in that one that are interesting to me. The second one listed here, Texas at Alabama. I kind of wish that one was a little deeper into the season because if I'm going to root for Bama in that one, sorry. And I think Bama's got to figure out their whole quarterback situation and their identity for next season, and I think Texas has a pretty good idea who they are. That game September 9th, the same weekend that A&M is in Miami. That game, the A&M Miami game, is not listed on here. A couple other ones on here that I found interesting. Tennessee at Florida. I don't really care. Pitt at West Virginia. South Carolina at Georgia. Those games don't catch my attention. USC at Colorado does, because I think USC, they're doing something right there. I know it's the Pac-12, and David Edmonds is going to send a text message saying they don't count, but they've got talent, and they're fixing that defense. And Colorado is just a very polarizing team for what Deion's doing there, for whatever Luke brought up, the transfer numbers there, and just the way he goes about their business. So there's that. Some pretty good reading, especially when you're in a waiting room waiting for a while. So it's a long article. If you get a chance, it's not a bad read. But A&M mentioned a couple different times on there, and I already told you about the Jimbo stuff there. So good stuff. We'll hit a break here. When we come back, Stephen McGee going to join us, and we'll chit-chat with Stephen. We'll get into all things going on in his world, and I got a fun little buy-sell lease with him to get into. But right now we're talking Heritage Films. That is Chance McClain's company. They make documentary films about families. They make documentary films about family businesses, family ranches. They do it at the highest level. I love documentaries. I was talking to some of the crew earlier, and we're like, like Netflix has got these really cool sports documentaries coming out over the next couple of months. I'm all in on documentaries because when done right, all these stories are interesting. Like, I've watched documentaries before on people that I don't care about, and I start seeing how they came up, how they got into their business, and it's like I'm really captivated. Now, think about that with your family and how it could be done the right way, and Chance does it the right way. He tells the story that you want to be told. He asks the right questions. He gets pictures and video to support the story, right? The family story, the family business, the family ranch, whatever it is, a family gathering that you want to have recorded and saved forever. Chance is the best at doing that. He's done Broadway musicals, Hollywood movies. He's done red carpet shows. He's done radio stations. He's done it all. His resume is incredible. And now he's doing Heritage Films. The website is yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com. 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Where pain is temporary and victory is forever.
It's time. Oh, here we go! Let's go!
Maroon U is your ultimate stop for brand name apparel, gifts, and accessories for the entire family. From Columbia, 47 brand, Yeti, Dooney & Burke, and Adidas, we're able to outfit you for every occasion. Visit Maroon U and our family of companies on Holloman Drive in College Station to shop the latest in brand name Aggie merchandise. Shop Maroon U today, voted best in the Brazos' best gift shop since 2016. Maroon never looked so good with Maroon U.
Are you looking for investment options that potentially outpace today's high inflation environment? Concerned about recent banking failures or the volatility of the stock and crypto markets? Call Caliber to learn how you can invest in commercial real estate investments right here in Bryan College Station that support the community while producing real returns for investors. Caliber, the wealth development company, partnering with the community to build a better tomorrow. 979-977-2950. That's 979-977-2950. The investments and services offered may not be suitable for all investors. You should seek advice from an independent financial advisor.
Friends, the year's almost half over, and you're still dealing with that knee or hip pain. Enough is enough. Pills are not the answer. Surgery is not the answer. You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's David Nuño, and the advanced regenerative medicine solutions at QC Kinetics can give you a life without chronic joint pain, and you can do all those summer activities you used to enjoy. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in taking healing properties from your own body and applying them directly into your achy joints so your joint tissue can be repaired and restored naturally. This treatment is truly revolutionary. Patients across America are having life-changing results, and there are no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. If you have pain in your knees, your back, your hips, your shoulders, or your hips, you need to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can give you your life back. Call QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. That is 979-452-6000.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone.
Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue, Cherry Rafino with Coldwell Banker Apex Realty, and Park at Tradition's Exceptional Senior Living. Here's a big gig to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on the Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
You can listen to Aggie football, basketball, and baseball on your Amazon Dot or Echo. Step 1, say, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Step 2, anytime you want to hear fighting Texas Aggie football, Texas A&M women's basketball, or Aggie baseball, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play Zone 1150. It's that simple to listen to your favorite A&M teams that play on the Zone with your Amazon Dot or Echo. Make sure to say one time, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Then say, Alexa, play Zone 1150.
오빤 강남스타일 강남스타일 낮에는 따사로운 인간적인 여자 커피 한 잔에 여유를 아는 품격 있는 여자
I'm not being mean about the music. Please don't take it that way. I absolutely hate that song. Keep it going, though, to annoy me and Stephen McGee. Let's go to the hotline. Stephen McGee, Paragon Financial. This could be the worst song I've ever heard, Stephen. Are you a big Gangnam Style guy?
I don't know why I'm feeling like this is the type of music venue you go like on a concert night when it's just you without the family. This is what you go listen to. What's the one guy you went to go see recently?
Oh, Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny? Yeah. Is this Bad Bunny?
No. Bad Bunny is a legend. Gangnam Style is a one-hit wonder.
A legend.
Yeah. See, now, Steven, my guy Bad Bunny has like the most streamed artist over the last 5 years in the world. More than Taylor Swift, more than it. That's who he is.
You could have bet me $1 million and I would have accepted that bet that was not a true statement.
We can Google
I don't
it.
know. I guess I'm stunned.
We could Google it. In fact, at the break, I'm Googling and sending you mass text messages about Bad Bunny. Now you're part of the circle of trust.
Well, I know what my bullcrap today is. The fact that Bad Bunny is the most streamed artist in the world. Where's OB?
OB is on vacay.
Nice.
It's weird.
I would love to know where his vacation has taken them.
He might be back. He went to Florida. He went somewhere in Florida, yeah.
Ooh. It's a good choice.
Yeah.
David, I got to fact check you here.
Yep, go ahead.
Bad Bunny is, in fact, not the most streamed artist in the world anymore. It is Drake.
Okay. But Bad Bunny was?
58 billion.
Okay. So Drake.
Bad Bunny is second, 55 billion.
Okay.
Then Taylor Swift, 48 billion.
I will say that Drake has had an album more recently than Bad Bunny, which means when Bad Bunny does one in the next 2 months, we take over the lead again because we're part of the team.
We?
Yeah, we.
Okay.
What does that mean? 58 billion. That means that his song was listened to on
Yeah, it just means like all
Spotify
of his songs have been listened to that many times.
That's a lot.
I'm not going to say that I have added to that tally in the millions. It's possible.
Yeah, half of which belong to the Nuño household.
So literally my sons, like if, they do the Spotify wrap up and it shows you like every song. It's my wife's account. I don't think we're supposed to share, but we do. And my wife does not listen to Bad Bunny and my sons do. And her wrap up this year was like number 1, Bad Bunny, number 2, Bad Bunny, number 3, Joe Rogan. Like all the stuff we listen to was none of the stuff she listens to.
I could not name a single Bad Bunny song. Savage, do you know a Bad Bunny song? Can you name one right now?
What is it?
Titi me pregunto.
Yeah, that one. I only know it, Steven, is because David used to request it all the time, and I would play it for him when I worked at the Zone. So that's the only reason why.
Look, I don't expect you to know Russian folk music either. It's not your wheelhouse. It's not your language. I get it.
Hey, I'll tell you what. We have the member guest golf tournament this weekend at our local golf club, and I'm playing with none other than the great Ryan Swope, and that means that he's going to have to carry us for 3 days straight. Typical. But my job will be to play music, and I cannot wait to play Bad Bunny for 3 days straight.
Well, You have told me that Swoopy and I would have very similar tastes when it comes to music, right? So, because he loves the old school hip hop.
He does. He also likes some of the current stuff too. But I start out with country. Especially early morning tea times. You're out there. Country's like the perfect fit. But by hole 7, if I haven't already made the switch to the rap genre, it's been requested.
Yeah.
And he'll say kindly like, "Hey, you care if I take over for a few holes?" And we're either going rap or we're going EDM. There's two choices there, but it always throws off the people we're playing with. They can never handle rap or EDM. That is, you want to get in your competitor's head in a golf match, you flip the switch from country to rap music or EDM, and it's over. They catapult every time.
I think I told you last week, I've become a big Zach Bryan fan. Really like his music. I know that Nick says that's not it's not real country, but I think that guy jams.
Solid.
I never said that, David.
How did you phrase it?
I just said he's country. Just I don't like him.
Okay,
that's all I said.
You call him the Taylor Swift of country.
I did. Yeah, I did say that.
Chris Stapleton, are you a fan?
Huge fan. Yeah, huge fan.
Yeah. How about the old school guys like George, Garth, Alan Jackson?
So here's my answer to that. When I came to A&M, you got to remember I came from a very urban neighborhood where all we listened to was hip hop. And I got to A&M and I had nothing but country friends. And I was the one guy who's like, I'm not listening to it. So I put it on hold for many years. But absolutely, when it's on, I sing it. I bob my head. Very rarely is it on my playlist. But I have so many friends that listen to it. I don't need it on my playlist because I have it on theirs and I'll hear it through them.
Fair enough. If you would have said no, like you can't tolerate George Strait or Garth Brooks, that's a hard reply for me to accept. And that's kind of when I know, I'm probably never going to become great friends with this person. It's a non-negotiable for me.
No, I appreciate them being legends. My music play is typically when I'm running or working out. That's or on rejoiners. And I'm not thinking of George Strait when I'm lifting.
No.
But if I'm at a bar and they're playing it, I'm all in.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I know I make fun of it. I'm an undercover fan of EDM music, especially when I'm working out.
Okay.
I can start moving weights like Billy Lucci whenever I get EDM on.
Little Night at the Roxbury with Stephen McGee here on TexAgs Radio.
Yes.
Hey, I got a buy-sell lease for you. And this was a college football one, so I'm going to give you a chance to respond. Buy-sell lease, quarterback OC situation. Number 1 on the list, Bobby Petrino working with Connor or Max, okay? You've got Tommy Reese, the Alabama OC, working with Tyler Buckner, Jalen Milroe, or Ty Simpson, right? Or Clemson, Garrett Riley, who obviously is very well decorated, working with Kay Klubnik, excuse me.
Man, this is an interesting play here. Because if you were to ask me which of the 3 quarterbacks am I going to pick, like if I'm drafting, I'm going to pick Connor. The situation at Clemson is fascinating. I don't really know where they're going to come at it, come in as a team. I love what Garrett Riley did as an OC, and that's what intrigues me. I like Kay Klubnik. I wasn't like, he's an 18-year-old kid out there playing. I get it, but he didn't wow me necessarily. He did some great things, but he's not like a game changer for me. The Alabama situation is fascinating because it's probably the least talented quarterback room of the 3. But you get a quarterback OC reunited. He's in the system, but it's all about the supporting cast there. I mean, it wasn't like year 1 of the Greg McElroy regime. We were like, oh, this quarterback's going to be amazing. But that guy went on to be an NFL quarterback because largely the cast around him was great. Same thing with A.J. McCarron, like more of the game manager from a talent perspective, but an incredible supporting cast that allowed them to be good football players. So you got to kind of take that into account, whereas A&M is unknown, right? Like what's going to happen here in this situation? We've seen the highs and lows. But because I'm an Aggie, I'm buying the Connor Petrino deal. Like there's some fascination there. You get to buy low a little bit, so to speak. I'll I'll lease the Clemson situation. I'm going to sell the Alabama situation just because of the talent. I didn't like what I saw last year from the kid that played at all. I thought he was arguably the worst Alabama quarterback I've seen in quite some time. And the Notre Dame kids never wowed me either. So I'm going to sell the Alabama situation.
Yeah, I think you're exactly on the same page as me. I think Garrett Riley's really, really good, and it'll be fascinating to see what he can do at Clemson. They may be awesome. Or maybe this is just the start of a trend of Clemson going in a, I guess a suboptimal level compared to what they were doing the last 10 years. Let's move on to the PGA Live merger. I know you're a big golf guy. How did that news catch you the other day?
I was stunned. I love it. Obviously, this is going to be my bullcrap this week, so I'll just go ahead and say it. But ultimately, it's going to be great for the golf. I mean, golfers are going to be sitting back. I mean, there's some of the most well-paid athletes in the world now, and the guys on the PGA Tour are going to benefit from this. Ultimately, it's the way they handle it that was, more bullcrap than anything. But it's turned into an episode of The Housewives on the PGA Tour, and the drama. It's great for adult males like myself, who it's probably the sport I pay the most attention to nowadays is the PGA Tour out of any professional sport. And I think that they're going to invest a ton of money. I mean, everything comes down to dollars and cents, as you know, and being able to inject those types of numbers into the game, it's going to ultimately be good for everybody, in my opinion.
I'll tell you what, man, that Monahan guy, he just comes across as just, I don't know what the right word is. I don't want to be too mean, but there's something about him, scummy. I don't know. I don't like the way he comes across.
He's the ultimate douche. I mean, he essentially, it was a bait and switch. He lied to those guys and then came around and inked the same deal that those guys passed up. The fascinating part to me is going to be, how do they make this right? Because there's guys like Rory that passed up, $400 million supposedly, and then guys like Koepka who accepted the whatever $300 million that he got, and now for them to merge, what does that look like? Do they have to continue? Someone told me that the $300 million is just like guaranteed winnings, but if they win a tournament, they don't get the $4 million. It just comes out of the $300 million they were fully guaranteed up front. So does that continue on for the guys that were on Live? Do they have to share some of that profit with the other guy? I don't know. That's going to be fascinating. But there's going to be tension there for guys that stayed on tours, Scheffler, Roms, that could have made a good chunk of money.
All right, let's hit a break here. We'll come back with my bull crap and some other college football stuff to get into. It's TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. You're invited to come tour the Brazos County Master Gardener's Demonstration Idea Garden this Saturday morning from 8 to 10. Learn about composting, rainwater harvesting, and much more. North Bryan Community Center invites you to the opening of their Bird Academy STEM Lab this Saturday from noon to 2. Wellburn Annual Homecoming is this Sunday at the Wellburn Community Center. It all starts at 11:30. Barbecue plates are $12. Stage Center Theater presents Last Roundup of the Guacamole Queens. Performances run June 8th through the 24th. Tickets are available at stagecenter.net. Parkway Baptist Church is hosting a vacation Bible school for kids pre-K to 6th grade, July 17th through the 21st. Find more information at parkwaybcs.org/kids. Sign up for the Zone All Access newsletter brought to you by Caliber, the wealth development company. Sign up now at zone1150.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
M&M Apparel, 11 Bar and Grill, Superior Auto Service, and Texas Roadhouse. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
Hi, I'm Jason Cornelius, board chairman of the Bryan College Station Chamber of Commerce. Join the chamber, title sponsor Chicken Salad Chick, and team sponsors Morningstar Storage and Physicians Premier ER as local police officers and firefighters battle it out at Edible Field, home of the Brazos Valley Bombers, on Thursday, June 15th at the 15th Annual Community Softball Classic. This tribute to our first responders also benefits the 100 Club. All tickets are $10 and good for admission to the Bombers game that follows. Gates open at 4:30. Call the chamber for more information at 979-260-5200.
There's only one best, and we want you to decide. Voting is now open for the 23rd Annual Best of the Brazos Valley. Tell us who you like the best in dining, shopping, wellness, services, and everything that makes this the best place to live. Vote online now at bestofthebrazos.com. Thanks in part to our sponsors, The Toasted Yolk, Aggieland Carpet One, George's Paint and Body, Holly's Home Interiors, and Allen Academy. Voting ends July 5th. You only get one vote, so make it count at bestofthebrazos.com.
Looking for podcasts of TexAgs Radio, The Louie Bellina Show, or Chip Howard? Look inside the Pod Center at zone1150.com. Don't miss a single rant, guest, or moment. You can download or subscribe to any and all of your favorite shows inside the Pod Center at zone1150.com. There's also a special selection where you can find select interviews from David, Louie, and Chip. Look up Zone interviews inside the Pod Center at zone1150.com. Download or subscribe, but don't miss out. Check out the Pod Center at zone1150.com.
Tú dices que no me atrevo. Si supieras que yo ando a fuego. Dime que tú juegas y yo lo juego.
We didn't get it on camera when Steven was dancing. That's some Bad Bunny, buddy.
I like it.
That's Después de la Playa, after the beach.
So is it more EDM or is he more rap? I was thinking he was a rapper.
He's reggaeton / trap, so it's kind of like a singy rap, if you will. He does some singing, some rapping, but it's a little both.
Like a song too. Like what is it called? Song like T-Pain. What is that?
Yeah,
Tune?
but that you called the other guy a douche. No, Bad Bunny's not that kind of guy. No, he's better. He's more Drake, if you will. Probably less rappy than Drake, but kind of like that style.
Hey, I'm gonna play him this week.
I don't think
if we win the championship, you're gonna get a split.
Well, Steven, I got to tell you this. People came after Nick Savage, so I'm gonna allow him to kind of defend himself because he rephrased what he meant about the Taylor Swift thing. So, Nick, I know that people are coming at you. Please.
Yeah, they're proving my point for me. So I said Zach Bryan is the Taylor Swift of country, and I didn't say he's not country music. He's good, he's country, but the fact that you can't criticize him, I just said I don't like him, and then there's like 3 or 4 messages coming after me like he's the best, fireable offense, and I know they're just having good fun, and I'm having good fun too, but they're just proving my point. That's all I'm saying.
No, it actually is a fireable offense.
Oh, well, somehow Dalton got on the call.
Management.
Well, yeah. From the C-suite in his new office on the second deck of TexAgs, like the voice of God just spoke into TexAgs radio. Oh, it makes me so happy to get a Dalton appearance today, though.
Oh,
look at him. God, for all of you guys streaming, look at that
that
beautiful face.
Hey, let's pay some bills. That Spoil Grab presented by Tom Line Plumbing. For service you can trust, consider Tom Line Plumbing. Great friend of Stephen McGee, longtime trusted plumber in and around the Brazos Valley. The website, tomlineplumbing.com. Stephen gave his in the last segment. I'm going to do mine. So, Stephen, I don't know if you've seen this, but a bunch of college football players are talking about boycotting the new 2024 EA Sports college football game because apparently the money they're going to divvy out is about $500 per player, right? So they don't want to put their name in the game because it's only $500. So college football nerds tweeted this. At 11,000 players, that's roughly $5.5 million in payouts. NCAA 14 sold 1 million copies, which at $50 each, that's about $50 million. EA Sports is offering 10% of their gross from their last game, despite massive dev costs, team bowl fees, and still it's too low. Bottom line is, if you don't want to be on the game, just don't be on the game. Those who do, take the $500 and enjoy being on EA Sports.
Yeah, I agree totally. Are they going to be able to use their likeness though? Like, is it still going to be number 4 without the Nuño name on the?
I think they can do that. I think they can do the name and the number. I mean, not the name, excuse me, the number and the jersey like they've always done. I think that's fine. And remember, back in the day, and I assume this is still coming, you could recreate a character. You could make David Nuño as a 6'6" fullback for Texas A&M. You could do it.
Yeah. There's a lot more. I mean, 10% of gross. I mean, you have all the expenses of the development of the program. I mean, like that's going to be a big percentage of the actual net revenue. I would say I know $500 to each player is not a lot of money, but seems reasonable. I don't know.
Yeah, my thing
also
is
seems like a small budget or small amount of money coming in for the game. $50 million just doesn't seem like the juice would be worth the squeeze for EA Sports.
Well, to me, it's like, just don't be on the game. That's fine. You don't have to make a big deal about it. We're offering you this. We're not going to do it unless you raise it. No, that's fine. Just don't do it. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. Especially if their likeness is still going to be on the game. I mean, great. Let's move on. I mean, you just didn't get your $500. I get it. It's not a lot of money, but better than zero.
Stephen, when's this golf tournament? Is it this weekend?
Yeah, tee off Friday afternoon, Saturday, and then Sunday. So it'll be fun. It's probably some good stories going to be available next Thursday for the radio show.
Absolutely. Well, I hope we get you and Swopey here together soon. That's always fun.
Maybe next week, little post recap, because there's something great's going to happen. We're either going to. I told someone the other day, like, member guests go one of two ways for me. It's we either get first place or we get last place. There's nothing in the middle for us.
Stephen, have a great time. We'll talk to you next week, man.
All right, buddy.
See you,
you
bro.
too.
Stephen McGee on the hotline. Appreciate his time. All right, so this is how the agenda is going to go the remainder of the show. Jim Schlossnagle going to join us at 9:05. He's actually here in the building, so we'll talk to Schloss here in a few minutes, get his thoughts on just wrapping up the season and whatnot. Aaron Torres at 9:35. Trey Wallace from Outkick going to join us at 10:05, and then it's the world famous fan show presented by Gerard Construction. We'll talk to those knuckleheads about all things baseball, football, you name it. And, of course, we'll get to your text messages on the A&B text line, 979-693-1150. That's going to do it for the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. We'll be back in a few with more TexAgs.
Everything in life has rules, and the Zone has prize rules for all contesting. You can check them out at zone1150.com. You may know you can win once every 30 days. There can only be one winner per household per month. You have 30 days to pick up your prizes. You have to be 18 or older to win. You have to present a legal ID to claim your prize. All prizes are non-transferable and not for resale. To make sure you do know all the rules, or if you have any questions about the prize rules, make sure to visit zone1150.com.
Zone1150.com.
Do you have a problem with your pension or 401k? Pension Help America connects Americans to resources that can provide answers to questions about their retirement plans. Found online at pensionhelp.org, Pension Help America is a website of the Pension Rights Center, a nonprofit consumer organization that protects and promotes the retirement security of American workers, retirees, and their families. If you have a question about your retirement plan, visit pensionhelp.org. That's pensionhelp.org. A public service message from the Pension Rights Center.
Listen to The Zone online at radioaggyland.com. Don't miss Louie, Chip, TexAgs, or your favorite Aggie teams as they play on The Zone. Listen online at radioaggyland.com. This is KCNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. College Station and Bryan firefighters respond to an apartment fire yesterday.
Firefighters arriving at the scene saw flames coming out of a second-story window of a single building at the Pearl Apartments in College Station. In a Facebook post, CSFD stated that several residents were displaced and no injuries were reported. The cause of the fire has not been released. For 1620 94.5 WTAW, I'm Ian Curtis.
Bryan police continues investigating a murder that took place Monday night 3 blocks south of Midtown Park. Mayor Bobby Gutierrez tells listeners on WTAW that the 22-year-old victim, while he was still conscious, would not tell officers who shot him.
Nobody's going to say, well, he shot me. And there's never any witnesses. So, yes, we're doing everything we can, but how do you go arrest anybody when there's never any witnesses?
Monday's murder came 2 weeks after Bryan police took reports of 8 vehicle burglaries in the same neighborhood. That led to the arrests of a 16 and 17-year-old. A College Station man is admitted to a home invasion robbery that took place 3 years ago. A plea agreement between 25-year-old R.A. Terrell III and Brazos County District Attorney's Office includes a 10-year prison sentence and no right to appeal. Suspended Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has a legal team defending him against 20 articles of impeachment.
My first thought was these are worthless and weak.
The team is led by a former member of the Texas A&M Systems Board of Regents, Tony Busby.
Ken Paxton will never be convicted by the Senate. Not on this evidence, not with this record, and not when the fact is the allegations are completely untrue.
Busby, who held a news conference that was streamed on his Facebook page, says he has identified 66 witnesses that need to be deposed, and he will be submitting thousands of documents in defending Paxton. For more news, go online to WTAW.com. Follow us on social media at WTAW1620. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
There's only one best, and we want you to decide. Voting is now open for the 23rd annual Best of the Brazos Valley. Tell us who you like the best in dining, shopping, wellness, services, and everything that makes this the best place to live. Vote online now at bestofthebrazos.com. Thanks in part to our sponsors, The Toasted Yolk, Aggieland Carpet One, George's Paint and Body, Holly's Home Interiors, and Allen Academy. Voting ends July 5th. You only get one vote, so make it count at bestofthebrazos.com.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the 4-day super sale, June 9th through the 12th, and get 40% off paints and stains with prices starting at $26.69. That means 40% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 40% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hillcosupply.com. Texas A&M Baseball's Jace Lavalette has been named to the Freshman All-American team by Collegiate Baseball Newspaper. The left-handed slugger from Katy Tompkins High School hit .287 and led the Aggies in home runs, RBIs, and stolen bases. He set the freshman home run record with 21 home runs and was 2 steals away from becoming A&M's second player ever with 20 homers and 20 steals in the same season. The Aggies are currently competing at the NCAA Track and Field Championship running through Saturday. Sam Hankins highlighted day one with a 5th-place finish in the javelin as the men's track and field team completed day one in Austin. The women will open competition today. Texas A&M women's golf announced the hiring of 3-time LPGA Tour winner and 2011 NCAA national champion Austin Dodds as an assistant coach. Dodds played 2 seasons of collegiate golf at LSU. She turned pro after her sophomore season and still holds the 7th lowest stroke average in program history and became the first LSU golfer in program history to win an NCAA Division I individual championship. In the Women's College World Series, Oklahoma took Game 1 over Florida State 5-0 for their 52nd straight win. Game 2 is tonight with a 6:30 start. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Sean Burnett.
Each Tuesday at 1:55, I'm joined inside the Charles Schwab studio by April Plemons of Longway Home Adoptables. We get to meet our mascot of the week, a dog, a cat, an animal looking for a permanent home. The mascot of the week on the Louis Bellina Show is brought to you by Waggy Pet Zone. Have you ever wondered what goes into training a service dog? Well, you can find out inside their service dog group classes. Sign up now. Get more information at waggypetzone.com.
Welcome back, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's look back at the 2023 Aggie baseball season. Jim Schlossnagle is here in studio as we take the time just to reflect on the year. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
You know, wish we were either.
Weird question to ask after, the season ending earlier than we wanted, but
yeah, Yeah, just never feels good to not be playing when somebody else is playing. And, we obviously had an up and down year, but I felt like we came together towards the end, put ourselves in a good position out at Stanford, and then just didn't play well enough, and they're really good. They played great. So, yeah, it's just disappointing to be sitting here, within 36 hours of playing, you're having exit meetings with players and obviously diving deeply into recruiting, transfer portal, all the things that are a part of college athletics today. So excited for the opportunities of the future, but, yeah, pretty bummed out we're still not playing.
Well, from an outsider's perspective, what I really loved about this season was we couldn't define this year until the very end because you guys, there was this growth, and we saw it happen. The beginning didn't start as well as you guys wanted, but then it's like, and beyond Hoover, just the way you guys came together, especially in conference play towards the end, to me gave us all hope when you got to the regional.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was I can tell you this personally. I don't remember I always give every ounce of me to a team, but myself, and I say myself, our coaching staff, like it just felt like every single day the amount of effort put in to try and win a ball game, primarily because your pitching staff wasn't what you had hoped it would be at the time, and then you get into the conference tournament where you get to Starkville, and then you start. Lampkin has a great start. Will Johnston goes from giving up a walk-off home run to giving us a great start in the last regular season game, and then we have 3 or 4. Wansing obviously was outstanding against Tennessee, and that was a great run, and that said a lot about the character of our players. And we had hoped that we would carry that into the regional, and then I thought Nathan was outstanding, really good in his last start on Monday. But the other ones, we probably got a total of 15 outs from starting pitching. And that's just an uphill battle. It's going to be really tough. So I think if you look at our stats over the course of the season, if you were to put your hand over the record and say, hey, these are the statistics your team's going to have, some things were really good and some things not so good. You say, wow, how in the heck, I don't know if that's a regional team. And then you look up and you were a regional team. You played for an SEC championship and played in a regional final. So I think on one hand, we got the most out of them. On the other hand, you could say, golly, what could we have done different? And believe me, I do. What could we have done different to get more out of Wansing, more out of Detmer? God, it's the same exact coach as coaching Austin Boast, and right. He puts in he's the greatest kid, the most competitive, puts in the most effort. And sometimes, I don't like to say it, and I wouldn't want to hear it if I was an Aggie fan. Sometimes, like Ron Washington said, that's how baseball go. And you just have to deal with it and move on to the next season. But we put ourselves in position to get to Omaha, which is, and I know we want to host and do all that other stuff, and we want to win championships, but you can't get to Omaha unless you're in a regional. And we played our way into that in the last month and made a good run. Just wasn't enough.
Speaking of Nathan, there's something about him that in these big moments, he does show up. Obviously, the result wasn't there, but he pitched phenomenally. He pitched phenomenally last year against Notre Dame when you needed him to. What is it about him that he finds it in these crucial games? Yeah,
I think he's a pretty strong guy in his faith, and I think he truly doesn't let baseball define him. So when he gets in those moments, he's more relaxed than most people. But he's talented, and so that eventually the cream rises to the top. And he did a great job in that. He made 1 or 2, you could say bad pitches, or you could say that the hitter did a good job with him in those home runs. But that day Nathan kept us in the ball game, and we couldn't, get the 2-out hit. There was a time I'm looking at the scoreboard. I think we had more hits than they did, but they either had more timely hits or hit the ball out of the ballpark where we didn't.
Let's look at this team, how it's going to look next year in 2 parts. First off, this young core that really stepped up this year from Max and Jace and, Lampkin. Like, just talk about this core that should be coming back and how they grew this year.
Yeah, you could go – each individual story is great. Obviously, Jace is the headliner of that group, and super proud of the way he handled himself throughout the course of the season. But you got Lavalette. I thought Max Coffer, where would we be without him? He ended up really handling the pitching staff well. If people could see the analytics of his job of how they grade catchers now, and make strikes and the fringy pitches, present them to the umpire well. He did a really nice job with that. And his batting average wasn't great, but his at-bats were always really, really good. He had some big RBIs and always had a really good on-base percentage for a guy that didn't have a high batting average. So, and then Lampkin and Sadeo thought were outstanding. Sadeo specifically took a huge jump and became a big part of our bullpen. One of my hopes for that last game was if Nathan could give us enough. Stanford had not seen Sadeo, where they had seen Aschenbeck and Johnston and Garcia. So I thought, we'd have that. I felt good about our plan going into that game, but I really think Lampkin and Sadeo are going to be really good starting pitchers for us. If they're not starting pitchers, that means we have some other really good ones step to the forefront. I thought Caden Kent gave us at bats when we needed it. Different parts of the season. Everybody thinks about the last 2 months of the season. The entire season in itself is a game in February is just as important as a game in May. And so Caden did some good things. Case and Wells, guys that are going to be a part of this thing, for a while, we hope. So it's a good core to build around, but we have a lot of work to do. We have a good high school class coming in. We need to hold those guys. I'll be getting in my car and on some planes here in the next 2 weeks to have some real in-depth conversations to make sure we give ourselves the best chance to hold those players in the draft. And then obviously the transfer portal, we have been and we will continue to be active in that, depending on what we determine our needs are and what's out there. Well, the other side of that conversation is some of these guys will be moving on. Just what Trevor meant to this team, or a lot of these guys' future is still TBD, but what they've done these last few years. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that was. I never know what to say to a team at the end of the season because I've never, unfortunately, been a part of winning the last game. So whether it's in the locker room in Omaha like last year, or whether it's down the third base line at Stanford this year, the tears are the same. What do you say? I mean, it's just there's nothing to say other than thank you. And I think we all wish, in some cases, I wish we would have gone to a regional last year and gone to the College World Series this year as those guys leave. But it happened the opposite. And so, but I told those guys, you guys are part of changing the direction of a program. And a lot of them were here when it wasn't so great, whether it be COVID or, a rough year in 21. But Brett Minnick and Trevor Werner and Austin Boast and Will Johnston and Nathan Detmer, I'm sure I'm missing some guys, but, just what those guys did, and number one, stuck at A&M, and number two, just continued to believe in what we were doing. And for me as a coach, they were great examples, great role models, and great leaders. So we'll miss them. You can't. We'll do our best to replace the baseball, the numbers, and improve and stuff like that. But to replace that kind of character, that's not going to be easy. Well, you mentioned Austin there. The press conference clip went somewhat viral because how much passion he has for this university. Just talking about that young man. Yeah. If I start talking about it, I'll start crying because he's within 36 hours. I mean, yesterday I had exit meetings all day, and you're battling Monday night, and now I'm having a meeting with Austin Boast, and he's walking out of my office. He'll be back. I mean, as a former student, former player, but it's not the same. And just what he means is grit. Everything about having me being new to A&M. Everything I, from the outside looking in, viewed an Aggie baseball player to be tough, gritty, competitive, selfless. All the things that A&M is. That's what Austin Boast is. And we're really going to miss him. A guy that just was never, an infielder and says, Coach, I can play second base. And the Wednesday before we go to LSU last year, and that completely changed. That was really the moment that changed our season. And then he comes back, could have played professional baseball, and doesn't have a great season. And there's a lot of guys that would look and say, man, I screwed up. And he doesn't at all. He doesn't regret it one single second. That's how much it means for him to be an Aggie. And he'll be rewarded for that. I truly believe things happen for you, not to you. And he'll grow from this, and we're going to work like crazy to help him get a chance to continue his baseball career. Coaches all around the country are trying to figure out how to best use the transfer portal. You've been very successful at it. Talk a little bit about fit and talent. Like, there's got to be both. Yeah. I mean, I think, it's real easy, especially this time of year. You're emotional after a loss. You're losing some really good players, and you just want to plug and play and grab the first guy. But we have to get to know these people as best we can. There are some transfer situations, like, we have a couple guys from Ivy League schools that, they've known they've been coming here before their season even started. So that's really awkward, but at least you get to know them, And so that's a good thing. From the transfer portal gets a lot of bad, things said about it, but that's a really good thing. So we get to know those guys. And then the challenge is going to be, as these big name guys hit the portal or some players out there, how can we best get to know them when their decisions are going to be made so fast, right? So can you talk to their current coach, yes or no? It might not be leaving under the best of circumstances. Talk to their summer coach, people that know them, and hopefully get them on a visit. And in a very, very, very short, sometimes just 12 to 20 hours of being on our campus, try to look them in the face and see if they're built the way we're built. Right. And that's that's part of all recruiting, but that's a real tricky thing in the portal.
Well, Hunter Haas, he fit right in, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what we need, more of that. Yeah. And I think the beauty of Hunter is Mike Early, and that Mike knew his character. I had recruited him a couple different times when I was at TCU, but I didn't know him like Mike, obviously. And Hunter coming off a season where he was hurt, and I remember Mike in the office saying, "I'm telling you, this is our guy. I'm telling you, this is a perfect fit culturally. Guys are going to love him. He's an elite teammate like Jack Moss was." And so, and then he comes and has a great season. So that's a great story for Hunter and for the portal as well. And those are the kind of guys we've got to find.
I know we've done this story before on this show, but I love the Evan Oschenbeck story. Just, his growth and what he meant to this team when a lot of people didn't know who he was.
Most valuable pitcher, all-time pitcher. That's what I call him. He's my all-time pitcher, like you have in wiffle ball in Little League or whatever. But I don't know where we'd be without him. He's certainly the most valuable pitcher on our team this past year. He had some moments that were truly unbelievable in the conference tournament against LSU, and I think he's behind in the count to Dylan Cruz and throws three fastballs. He couldn't throw three fastballs by people in 3 weeks in the fall, and then he gets in that situation. He runs his last fastball, a 3-2 count, just runs a 93-mile-an-hour fastball right by the best hitter in the country. And so Jeremy McMillan's to be accredited for a lot of that. Our strength coach, Nate, obviously working with him every day, and Evan's going to stay around this summer and try to continue to transform his body. And you never know. A guy like that, he could certainly be a starting pitcher, but his value is endless.
I do want to talk to you about the stadium and just what the future could be and maybe some timelines potentially.
Yeah, I think, again, talking about the telescope and the microscope is, hey, today in the portal, what are we trying to do? But the telescope, the long-term vision that I'm continuing to try to keep moving this whole massive ship forward is, I think Texas A&M deserves the best of the best. When I think of A&M, compared to the other schools who currently are ahead of us from a facility standpoint or different areas of their program, I'm like, are you crazy that this school, I don't want to name a school, but this school or that school has something better than Texas A&M? That would never happen in football. Why should it happen in baseball? And so my vision is for the biggest, the brightest, the best possible ballpark that we can fit in that stadium that lasts for a very long time. That's not just they lipstick on a pig or whatever they call it, where it's better, but it's not. I want it best, and that's not for me. I'm not always going to be the coach here. I'm going to get out of this thing at some point, but it's for the players and for the 12th man. And so sounds like we're going to stay on site. So we are somewhat limited by our footprint. But the university, for example, has told us we can go as high as we want. We just can't go past the rec center. Obviously can't go past the railroad tracks. So we'll have the player development stuff. That's super important in recruiting. Every single semester is a recruiting cycle, and every single week don't have that stuff is another step further behind. But the player development stuff will be a big phase, and then the stadium itself, adding seating. Hopefully maybe some double deck seating in the outfield, certainly left field. Where's the video board going to go? The field itself is 17 years old. The playing surface needs redone. How does that interact with a playing season, summer camp? We don't want to miss a season where we have to go play somewhere else. unless they're going to build us a new ballpark on site, which doesn't sound like that's going to happen. So it probably, I would say after next season, that's the goal, is to be moving dirt and building and renovating and knocking down walls. Nothing's been decided, but probably the player development stuff first. Then you play a season and add and do all the seeding. But we have our next big stadium meeting here in the next week or so, and I'll know more then.
All right, one more microscope thing to close out, and I don't even know if it's fair to ask, but do you have a wish list of what you want to get done here in this offseason?
I want to have good players.
Yeah.
Met with everybody yesterday. Our coaching staff. There couldn't be better synergy on a coaching staff than this coaching staff. Everybody's on the same page. Of course, people are going to want our coaches. I've never not had people. I want coaches that are upwardly mobile. I want them to want to be head coaches. I just want them to want to be head coaches at the right place, right? So Nate Yeski's not leaving unless it's the right job. Mike Early's not going anywhere unless it's the right job. I don't want any of our coaches leaving, being assistants somewhere else. And Ross is fully supportive of that. So just maintain our staff. But then right now it's rebuild a roster. Yeah. And Aggies want to win every year. So do I. No one's guaranteed anything. So I want to have the very best team we can possibly have next year. So our focus right now is 1,000% on rebuilding this roster so that this time next year we're hopefully playing at home and trying to get to Omaha.
We appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate all you do for us during the season.
Thank you very much, Jim Schlossnagle here in the studio. All right, we'll come back with an open segment next on TexAgs Radio.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. College Station Police invites you to Family Fish at the George Bush Library this Saturday morning from 7 to 11. The family-friendly event is free and open to the public. You're invited to downtown Bryan's first Festa Italiana. The event will showcase the local Italian community's favorite foods, products, and services. This family-friendly event is Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Students entering grades 8th through 12th are invited to a free cybersecurity camp at Texas A&M this summer. 3 sessions are available, but space is limited, so apply now. Visit hprc.tamu.edu. College Station in Lions Club is hosting the inaugural 4th of July Parade Celebration, a free community event for children and families, Tuesday, July 4th at 9 a.m. at Wolf Pen Creek. Are you free afternoons from 4 to 6? Chip Howard is hiring for an assistant producer. No prior experience is required. Apply now at zone1150.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Gulf States Toyota, Hargrove Insurance, and Twin Peaks. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Ground Shuttle is the Brazos Valley's premier transportation provider, well known for frequent and reliable rides to the Houston airports. Did you know that Ground Shuttle also offers private car service and charter service? For game day or any day, you could book any vehicle in their fleet to accommodate your group size and needs, from luxury sedans to full-size shuttles. It's the hassle-free way to get your group to sporting events and concerts, corporate meetings and dinners, and evening out, and the airport too. Learn more at groundshuttle.com. Ground Shuttle, let us do the driving.
David Nuño here to talk about how much I love Legacy Workspaces, located in the heart of College Station on Longmire. Let me tell you something. Big box office spaces done, finish, done. Legacy Workspaces is leading the way in modern, affordable, impressive officing. So many great amenities like reserved parking, free office supplies on demand, impressive conference rooms to host your clients, and some of the best coffee in town. Ay que rico, repeatedly voted best of the Brazos Valley. Visit legacyworkspaces.com and leave your legacy today.
Gotta be connected with The Zone. Follow us on Twitter or Instagram at The Zone 1150. Like us on Facebook at The Zone 1150. Programming alerts, prize updates, scores from games all across Bryan Broadcasting, contest news, and more. Connect with us and always be in the know. Can't remember what team is playing on what station? When are they giving away what? And when is the coach on the show? Follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Zone 1150. And be sure to like us on Facebook at Zone 1150. And always be in the know.
Someone that makes me feel seasick. Oh, what a skill to have. Oh, what a skill to have. So many skills that make her distinctive. But they're not mine to have. No, they're not mine. Whenever she looks
This sounds like a Nick Savage request. What song is that, Nick?
I have no earthly idea.
Oh, you don't?
Why do you think that's a Nick
I don't
Savage
know.
request? I've heard it before, but I could not tell you who that was.
Actually,
I'm
there was
not exactly
the
sure.
guy sounded British, so I'm
Yeah.
out. No, so you're right. It's not a Nick Savage banger. That's for sure. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate Coach Schlossnagle coming in. I told him when he left, I always appreciate his candor. He answers all questions. He thinks before he speaks. He's just he wants what's best for this program, and regardless of how you think this season played out, I saw growth in that team, and that is a lot to do with him. I do want to read something from C. Rogers on the chat, because he's come at us, not in a mean way, by the way, about being wrong on football, baseball, and basketball in our preseason takes. And I kind of want to go about that. I think we were pretty right on basketball. I thought they were a tournament team. I thought they had a potential to be a Sweet 16 team. I also told you all on this show, and I'm not here to defend my takes and whatnot. I'm just kind of talking. But I think I told you all on this show that I was worried about that Penn State game because of and I said it all week long as I did my prep for that game, all the things that they were really good at, I thought hurt A&M. Like, they were just, good. They don't foul a lot. A&M goes to the line a lot. So, and then, preseason predictions for baseball and for football. Yeah, I was wrong on football. I thought that was a 9-win team. I believe that was my pick last year, was 9 wins, right? I was wrong. ESPN was wrong. CBS was wrong. The AP poll was wrong. The coaches poll was wrong. We're all wrong. And by wrong, I still believe in the talent that they have here, and I still think Jimbo Fisher makes that sound when he's not thinking. I don't know what that was, but it was kind of funny. But I still believe in Jimbo Fisher. And by the way, yeah, I'm wrong. So are you. We're all wrong. I'm not Jesus. For the record, I am not. I don't know everything. I get paid to steer a conversation. I'm a conversation steerer. Skip Bayless is wrong. Every single day he makes millions. Stephen A. Smith is wrong all the time. People are wrong. C. Rogers, look, I'm sure you're a nice enough guy. I bet you were wrong about A&M. Most people did not predict a 5-7 season. Seriously. I'm ask you. Then we're all wrong. And yes, I'm the host of the show. I should be right. If I were right all the time, I'd be working in Vegas, wouldn't I? Look, I see things, I analyze them, I break it down. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. Baseball, I look at that team and I think that they underperformed preseason expectations that the world had. I also saw a team that exceeded some of the expectations that I put on them in my mind during the season. So look, we all have opinions about teams. Sometimes we hit them, sometimes we don't. And that's just, it happens in boxing. It happens in all sport. Things don't, that's why it's a game. How many times has the underdog beaten a really good team? And this is not an App State time to bring up. I'm just saying in general. There's been games my sons have gone into where they should get destroyed by the team that they're going to play against, and they win. And then there's games that they play against a team that they should destroy, have lost. It's competition. There's work on both sides. Last year, football-wise, was terrible. It was. It legit was terrible. I think this year will be better. A year from now, David, you told us they were going to be better. Yeah, I do. I think they're going to be better. And I'm not the only one. So I feel like when you defend yourself for something that you're not, look, I'm telling you, sometimes my predictions are wrong. This show is not called Guess the Outcome. That'd be a game show. It's not that show. It's let's analyze the situation right now. Let's look ahead. Let's look back and have a conversation about it. Hopefully, you are not coming here for your gambling advice, especially knowing that I don't understand how to gamble. I've made that mistake on this show many times. I'm going to take the over. David, we're not asking that. Oh, I'm going to take the under. David, we're not asking that either. Take the points. Look, I hope you come here for water cooler talk. I hope you come here because you want to talk about A&M sports and have some really good interviews with the head coaches and the decision makers of the team across the street. I hope you come here for analyzing situations, right? If you're coming here for predictions, Man, we can do it. I haven't given a prediction for this season because I think predictions are stupid. I don't know. I do think the offense will be better. Put that in a headline, put it in a tweet, quote tweet me, David, you suck, you're wrong. Okay, I think it's going to be better. I think the defense will be better. I'm worried about certain areas. I've maintained, so hopefully you're just coming here for the dialogue, to be around. And look, I know opposing fan bases can't wait for people's opinions. They like to do the receipts. I saw somebody do that to Billy the other day. Receipts are a moment in time. Opinions change. I used to hate carrots. Legit. I love when I say a line that I just thought of, like it's not even, not a planned joke like the dude from Arkansas, and then Luke laughs in the background. I love it because I feel like, something worked. I hated carrots from the age of 1 to 43. Hated it. I like carrots now. It's amazing. Things changed. Had I tweeted that in 1988, and then they show, David, you said in 88 you hated carrots. Yeah, but now I like them. Things change. I like carrots. I still hate pickles. But you said, yeah, I hate them. Maybe my taste buds will change. I used to not like country music. I got a playlist on my phone for country music. And I'm saying years ago, like before TexAgs, I used to not want to listen to country music. I didn't grow up around it. It wasn't my thing. I got a playlist that plays country music. Sorry. People change, people evolve, situations evolve. During a football season, they evolve. When the Oilers were up 28-3, this came up earlier in the show. I thought they were going to win the game. I was wrong. So was the world, right? That's part of it. C. Rogers says that you dismissed the fact that the new signing class were all freshmen. You're right. I did dismiss it. I did. I and the world did. I did dismiss the fact that they were all freshmen. I'm also the same guy that says I would build a team with older players. Same guy. I did dismiss it. You're right. You're okay. Here you go. You're right. Ivan Mazel, I don't know what he predicted for the Aggies. I bet you he dismissed it too. And there was Connor O'Gara from the beginning told me, and I'll give him credit for that. He's like, man, there's a lot of young players. He said it on this show. Like, I'm worried about that. He
David,
was right
if I can chime in on that,
sure.
Yes, they were all freshmen, but they were 5 stars. There's reason to believe that they would be putting out at a higher rate than a 3-star or something like that. So I guess what I'm saying is I think you're, pushing it aside is kind of justified. But
no, look, I understand C. Rogers' point.
Yeah.
I thought there would be a 9-win team. Was I talking about playoffs? I probably brought up playoffs. If things go right. Yeah. By the way, if you're in the SEC and you're a 10-win team, you will be conversation piece for the playoffs. You will be. Absolutely. I didn't think LSU was going to be as good as they were. Most people didn't. And they were really good. Congratulations. They lost to A&M. But they were really good. Props to Brian Kelly for getting it done year 1. Props. And they'll probably be pretty good this year. Look, if it's about predictions, and like gotcha moments, you said you were talking playoffs. Yeah, it is 15 hours of radio a week where you talk about the highs and lows and the potentials. And I don't like to live in the misery. Like, oh God, if things go wrong, you know how quickly that show would end? Like I'd be depressed. Like, oh man, if they lose that game, this is what it's going to feel like. But for the record, there was a time, and I'm pretty sure I said it on the air, I was worried, Aggie basketball 2022, I wonder if they're going to win a game again. I did. I wondered. Like when they lost, was it 8 straight, Luke? Is that right? 8 straight?
Yep, it was 8 straight.
I was like, look, if they don't win this game, they may not win a game the rest of the way. I remember thinking that. And what did they do? They did the exact opposite. They went on this huge run. And they lost in the SEC tournament final, and then they lost again in the NIT final. Right? If predictions are what you're coming for, C. Rogers, I know you've been listening for 2 years. You keep coming back. If it's the gotcha moments, then I think it says more about you than it says about me. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be wrong sometimes. I'm going to be right sometimes. Luke, you're going to be wrong sometimes, you're going to be right sometimes?
I'm going to be wrong a lot, but I will be right sometimes.
You're right about that mustache. See, I just did the thing I don't want to do. I just did it right here on the show. I said I don't like doing jokes that other people have done. I did one, I did the Luke, I'm your father, and the mustache thing. I'm better than that. I apologize, Luke.
It's okay. I know you're better than that, David.
I don't know if that was a compliment or you were being mean there. I really don't know. All right, we got to hit a break. I know Aaron Torres is probably like, dude, can you guys already finish up so we can chit-chat? Yeah, we can do that, Aaron. We'll do that. C. Rogers, appreciate you chiming in on the show. Moment right now for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. Look, if you buy a car from Caldwell Country Chevrolet, you're probably going to write an email to a friend about it. I know that seems weird, like a Dear John, but you're going to tell them how good that experience was. It just, it's natural when you have, really good customer service and you get, the vehicle you want or whatever you're purchasing and, everything was, you feel like I got to tell somebody, oh, you looking for a car? Let me tell you about Caldwell Country. Oh, you want a Tahoe? I got the guy for you. And everyone's like, really? Who's the guy? Caldwell Country Chevrolet. That's the guy. That's the mythical creature right there. They are the best when it comes to customer service. They have just amazing people that work there, and they're going to get you the right price, the right deal, and the right trade-in value. We went through it last year. I can speak from experience, and I know many others that have done it as well. And I've mentioned to you many times, there are a lot of Aggie legends across the street that have gone there. R.C. Slocum buys his vehicles there. Dante Hall buys his vehicles there. So I've gotten mine there. Other employees here at TexAgs have gotten their vehicles there. It's a great place to go. Simply call, click, or stop by. 15-minute drive, Brian and Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with Zach and the fellows there at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell. Online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. This is a place for winning games. The Zone.
It's time. Oh, here we go.
Let's go.
Friends, the year's almost half over, and you're still dealing with that knee or hip pain. Enough is enough. Pills are not the answer. Surgery is not the answer. You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's David Nuño, and the advanced regenerative medicine solutions at QC Kinetics can give you a life without chronic joint pain, and you can do all those summer activities you used to enjoy. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in taking healing properties from your own body and applying them directly into your achy joints so your joint tissue can be repaired and restored naturally. This treatment is truly revolutionary. Patients across America are having life-changing results, and there are no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. If you have pain in your knees, your back, your hips, your shoulders, or your hips, you need to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can give you your life back. Call QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. That is 979-452-6000.
Finding and buying your dream home creates a special kind of excitement, and Lone Star Realty Group is ready to help you experience that excitement. At Lone Star, every client is a priority, and every client is treated like family. They combine cutting-edge technology from Compass with a hometown touch to provide a concierge experience like no other in the Brazos Valley. Whether you're buying or selling, you'll get the help you need from Lone Star Realty Group. Experience, integrity, results. Click LoneStarBCS.com.
At Taco Bell, we like to keep mornings toned down, simple, and delicious. Like the breakfast crunch wrap with fluffy eggs, sausage, melty cheese, and a crispy hash brown and a grilled tortilla. And every Tuesday this June before 11 a.m., Taco Bell reward members who order on the app can get a breakfast crunch wrap for free. Uh-oh, I said the F word. Free always summons the legal beast.
Rewards members get one free breakfast crunch wrap award on Tuesdays in June during breakfast hours only via the app and participating Taco Bell stores while supplies last. Terms and conditions apply. Boom.
David Nuño here to talk about how much I love Legacy Workspaces located in the heart of College Station on Longmire. Let me tell you something. Big box office spaces done. Finish. Done. Legacy Workspaces is leading the way in modern, affordable, impressive officing. So many great amenities like reserved parking, free office supplies on demand, impressive conference rooms to host your clients, and some of the best coffee in town. Ay que rico, repeatedly voted best of the Brazos Valley. Visit legacyworkspaces.com and leave your legacy today.
Looking for the Zone prize rules? Would you like to apply for a job at the Zone? Or need a phone number or email for the Zone? Visit zone1150.com. Would you like to sign up for the Zone All Access newsletter? Looking for podcasts of TexAgs Radio, The Louis Bellina Show, or Chip Howard? Or would you like to see the Zone's daily schedule? Visit zone1150.com. For more information, any questions, to contact us for everything and anything about the Zone, visit zone1150.com.
Johnny, don't
And we're back, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. I'll say what, I don't know if I like the songs that we're playing today, or I love them. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you. I don't know, but I will say they've been different. So props back there at the mothership. Emily doing a great job over there. It's TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. And it is now time for Around College Athletics, brought to you by Milliken Reserve, a College Station community featuring homes, trails, farms, and wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. Take part in the Milliken Reserve community with a Conservancy membership. Learn more at millikenreserve.com. We go to the hotline, and AT is joining us. Aaron Torres from Aaron Torres Online and Fox Sports Radio. AT, what up?
It's funny you say that, David. I actually, coming in, I'm obviously, on hold while the music plays. And I was like, we must have somebody different on the boards today because, if it's not from the 80s and if it doesn't have a little, beat to it, David Nuño doesn't want it. I mean, we've been doing this now for what? You're coming up on the 2-year anniversary since you started. I don't know a lot in life, but I know David Nuño's music taste, and I'm not here to criticize whoever is playing it. But I know that's not what's normally coming out as I come into the show.
Well, hey, I very rarely pick the music back there, but it's been fun. It's been good, man. Hey, I wanted to go back to a little exchange we had. So last week on this show, you educated me.
I didn't know if you wanted that out publicly.
Oh, I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. I love it.
Okay.
I make a lot of mistakes. Just ask Steve Rogers. So last week on the show, you educated me on UConn, right? And that was on a Thursday.
Sure.
And then on Friday, I used your information because I Googled it. And I remember texting you. Like, I Googled UConn. I'm like, man, their conference record, they didn't lose a series. Like, they were legit. You're right. So I kind of bragged about you a little bit on the baseball bunch, I think it was, and told the guys. And then this weekend, I'm at the gym. I'm lifting, lifting heavy,
sure.
Of course, 2 reps in reserve.
Of course.
And I look on the bottom line on the TV that had ESPN on, and I see that UConn defeats Florida. I'm like, dude, AT called it. And I texted you, and you're like, what? Wait, what? And you go, what, Florida A&M? I didn't let the whole bottom line finish, right? It was like I saw Florida, and I went straight to the phone, and I gave you a message.
That's
like,
great.
Props.
Well, no, that's exactly what happened. And it was funny because, my mom was in town this past week, and, she actually went to UConn too. So, we always kind of monitor the sports together, all that stuff. But Friday she was in town, and UConn had actually opened with Texas Tech. They end up losing. And so Saturday we were actually, of all places, we were at Topgolf here in El Segundo, the beautiful facility in El Segundo, California. And I get that text from you. And so first, what you said was, you said something like, how about them Huskies or something like that. And it was funny because first I thought it was a sarcastic because I had known that they had lost the opening game and I knew they were in the losers bracket. So I thought you were mocking me. No, you said something like, I bragged about you on the show and then this happened. And so I thought you were mocking both of us for believing in UConn and that they had lost both games to be eliminated from the regional. And then you said something about, no, Florida, bro. And so then I was like, wait, did Florida lose its opener? Did UConn beat Florida in the losers bracket? Then, of course, I did a quick little Google search because then I became curious. And, of course, the Huskies had beaten the Florida A&M Rattlers, who I'm sure had a great season in their own right. But unfortunately, they were eliminated from that Gainesville regional. Listen, I know it was kind of a wild weekend last weekend for a lot of teams, but you said it. You said the Gators are for real, and they did lose, I believe, their second game. So they did pseudo have to come out of the losers bracket, but Florida advanced, and everybody that picked them looks pretty smart because I think they won, 2 or 3 elimination games in a row to win their regional. But, yes, that was how it went down. Was first I thought you were mocking me, and then I thought we were playing Florida in the losers bracket, only to do a quick search and find out it was actually it was actually Florida A&M.
Well, then you started texting me like old news. Remember that? We were going back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was great. Yeah. Big week for Billy Gillespie. Yeah, the Billy Gillespie Aggies. I feel good about them going into 2024. That's great. So, yeah, I can't remember everything that we talked about, but, yeah, it was a fun little – and it was also just nice because, obviously, look, we have a professional relationship. We talk off air sometimes, but to get the midday Saturday text, it was just a nice change of pace. So yes, we had a little fun at your expense, but at my expense too, because like I said, I was out and about and I wasn't probably monitoring as closely as I should have been.
Hey, AT, I haven't seen this report that you did a video on, so I'm curious about it. Is NIL officially running out? One report says that I haven't seen that report. What can you tell me about this story?
Well, I think it's interesting. So by the way, that's a great tease because now everybody wants to know what's going on. So two of the early, kind of feel-good NIL stories, like from the beginning of NIL, like pre-collectives, pre-whatever, Michigan State had a booster that was giving, I think it was up to $700K a month to every, I think it was football, men's basketball, women's basketball, volleyball, and like one or two other sports. And then BYU, and I remember this was like the first month of NIL, they had a company that was, giving a certain dollar amount to every football player. And so within the last like 2 weeks, both of those deals have blown up. BYU football players have gone public about, BYU football players have gone public that they're not getting paid, blah, 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 blah. And then the Michigan State one, the guy pulled the funding. Now, admittedly, the guy who pulled the funding is Matt Ishbia, who just spent a cool little $4 billion with a B on the Phoenix Suns. But I bring it up because I think this does speak to the evolution of NIL, where, yes, I think collectives are going to be a factor. And but I do think we're starting to see, like I said, an evolution. I think we're going to continue to see, elite players get well taken care of. And I do think, obviously, collectives are going to actually, I think we're headed towards a good place from NIL because I think we're headed towards a place where it's actually going to be what it was intended to be from the perspective that I do think going forward, collectives are going to make sure, hey, the guys on our roster, the guys that have produced, the guys that have actual value in this marketplace, whether it's A&M, Penn State, Ohio, the big brands, those are the guys that are going to be taken care of. And so I think we're seeing an evolution, and I do think to some degree the money is drying up where, these team-wide deals and things like that, I just don't think they're going to be there 2 or 3 years from now as the space continues to evolve.
Talking to Aaron Torch here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. All right, this week I feel like I've talked more golf than I've ever talked. No, I take that back. When Sam Bennett was in the Masters, we did a lot of golf, and anytime the Aggie women and men were playing, but PGA, this whole live thing, everyone's got an opinion, and I haven't seen many positive opinions about at least the way the PGA has handled everything. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's positive. I guess one of my takeaways, first of all, whatever. I mean, I think probably from the PGA's perspective, because I think that's where the evolution is. There's the initial shock. Okay, the guys who left for live are the big winners. The guys who stayed are big losers. But I guess from the PGA's perspective, this is my one thing that I'm a little bit confused by, David, is that, I've seen a lot the last 24 hours of Jay Monahan, the guy who, the guy who's in charge of the PGA. Oh, he's got to go. He can't survive this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wait a second. Isn't the job of a commissioner or a league president or whatever to get his constituents the most possible money? Roger Goodell has flubbed the NFL commissioner, but NFL owners are making more money than they ever have. So it doesn't really matter if he gets Zeke Elliott's suspension wrong or Ray Rice's suspension wrong. His ultimate goal is to make as much money for the owners as possible. And this whole situation obviously just infused a ton of cash into the PGA Tour. And I think, even Rory McIlroy's comments yesterday of, do I feel like a sacrificial lamb? Yes. Do I also think this is probably the best for the future of golf? I also think that's true. That's my only takeaway is I think there's the moralists that are upset by this. I mean, and that's another conversation we can get into if you want. But if the commissioner's job is to, listen, let's go local. Oklahoma and Texas joining the SEC isn't what's best for all 14 other SEC schools. I don't know that it's what's best for Vanderbilt, what's best for Arkansas, what's best for South Carolina, but it's best for the overall well-being of everybody. That's why Greg Sankey did it, and that's why the PGA made this decision. It's all about money. It stinks. If you're Rory McIlroy, you feel bad. But that's kind of one of my other takeaways is that in life, the quicker you learn that your boss doesn't really care about you and your feelings, and he cares about his business or her business and their company, the sooner you learn that, the better. I think Rory McIlroy and some of the guys on the PGA Tour learned that the hard way this week.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's interesting, man, because this whole thing and the golf.
Do you have a strong opinion on?
Yeah, my strong opinion is I think that Monahan comes across as a total loser. And he has for months, right? And I saw an interview that he did, I think yesterday.
Yeah.
And he looked completely like he did not know how to answer the questions. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I insist.
I was just going to say, I was on air when the audio of that went live, and the only thing I could equate it to was really the last, 3, 4, 5 months for Nate Oates with the whole Brandon Miller situation of every time he spoke, it was one, I didn't think it could get worse, but then two, it's don't you have PR people that are supposed to be helping you out? And that was how I felt with Jay Monahan is obviously, we all know what he did and how he kind of used the 9/11 stuff to try to leverage people against Liv. And it's you have to know that's going to be one of the first questions you get asked, and you have to be better prepared. I'm not saying it's okay for him to do that, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I actually fundamentally agree with everything that you just said, and I was kind of shocked that he didn't really have a better answer, even if there isn't a great answer to give.
AT, you got to drop it right there, man. Appreciate you.
No problem, man. Have a great weekend. We'll talk soon.
All right, man. Aaron Torres from Aaron Torres Online and Fox Sports Radio here on the program. Appreciate his time. Let's hit a quick break, but right now, Caprock Health System, highly personalized emergency care. You know that their patients there are going to benefit from a very unique one-on-one experience there because they've got a very low doctor-to-nurse patient ratio, which means their medical team gets to know you and your individual needs. And should your stay require you be there a little bit longer than expected, they're going to manage every element of your visit there. They've got hotel-quality rooms where you never have to worry about being in a dreary environment, sharing a room with another patient. You're going to have your own room. They're going to take amazing care of you. They've got the most advanced CT scanner in the region and can provide all the testing that you need done at one place. Their CT scan can detect any blockages developing in arteries and heart with 99% sensitivity. So they are very advanced when it goes there. Their sole purpose is to make you feel better, and they're 100% locally owned and operated. They want to make sure that you know that they want to put the patient first in every decision that they make. 2 state-of-the-art facilities designed for patient healing and family friendliness. You've got Caprock Hospital in Bryan and Caprock 24-hour Emergency Center in College Station. Both have 0 wait time for emergency care. You'll never have to sit in a crowded waiting room. Go check it out. It is Caprock Hospital in Bryan and Caprock 24-hour Emergency Center in College Station.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. You're invited to come tour the Brazos County Master Gardener's Demonstration Idea Garden this Saturday morning from 8 to 10. Learn about composting, rainwater harvesting, and much more. North Bryan Community Center invites you to the opening of their Bird Academy STEM Lab this Saturday from noon to 2. Wellburn Annual Homecoming is this Sunday at the Wellburn Community Center. It all starts at 11:30. Barbecue plates are $12. Stage Center Theater presents Last Roundup of the Guacamole Queens. Performances run June 8th through the 24th. Tickets are available at stagecenter.net. Parkway Baptist Church is hosting a vacation Bible school for kids pre-K to 6th grade, July 17th through the 21st. Find more information at parkwaybcs.org/kids. Sign up for the Zone All Access newsletter brought to you by Caliber, the wealth development company. Sign up now at zone1150.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Are you looking for investment options that potentially outpace today's high inflation environment? Concerned about recent banking failures or the volatility of the stock and crypto markets? Call Caliber to learn how you can invest in commercial real estate investments right here in Bryan College Station that support the community while producing real returns for investors. Caliber, the wealth development company, partnering with the community to build a better tomorrow. 979-977-2950. That's 979-977-2950. The investments and services offered may not be suitable for all investors. You should seek advice from an independent financial advisor.
Since 1957, Slovacic Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovacic is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovacic. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovacic Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
Where's my phone?
Where's my internet? What happened to my church? What happened to my house? My phone, my newspaper, my internet, my church, now my house? How did this all happen?
Freedom. It's an American thing. From AmericanThing.org.
You can listen to Aggie football, basketball, and baseball on your Amazon.or Echo. Step 1, say, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Step 2, anytime you want to hear fighting Texas Aggie football, Texas A&M women's basketball, or Aggie baseball, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play Zone 1150. It's that simple to listen to your favorite A&M teams that play on the Zone with your Amazon.or Echo. Make sure to say one time, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Then say, Alexa, play Zone 1150.
Free on a Saturday morning, I put the pedal to the floor, headed north on Mills Avenue, and listened to the
TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. People are chatty today. I kind of like it. It gives me something to go back and forth on. John from San Antonio sends in, to be fair, you think the offense will be better isn't really saying anything when the bar to get over is 101st. Yeah, I know. And they'll be better than 5-7 too. But, look, I've stated many times before why I think. And I'm going to tell you, again, here's a hot sports take for C. Rogers, John, and San Antonio, and Pablo, and whomever, right? Got to throw in my guy Pablo. Good people right there. I don't care if it's Jimbo's offense, Bobby Petrino's offense, or Lex Luthor's offense, which is very advanced, by the way. I don't care. I do care, but for what I'm about to say. And sometimes Billy looks at me like, you're bringing that up again. Yeah, I'm bringing it up because I think it is all about the offensive line. If the offensive line is good, they'll move the ball. That's it. Yes, the offense needs to get advanced, and I think we're seeing that across the street. But if you can block, people weren't really complaining in 2020 because they had a really good line. I mean, it was just a different style of offense. It wasn't like this attack that was going to score 40 points a game. I'm not putting a number on how many points a game they're going to score. I don't know, right? I don't know. We don't know, all right? I do know that if the line blocks, they're going to score some points and they're going to rack up some yards. And I think that's where it starts. And I have faith that Ruben Fatheree is going to have a really good year, and Layden Robinson is putting in the work. And the return of Bryce Foster, who touches the football in every single offensive possession, makes a big difference. More of that when we come back on TexAgs Radio.
Looking for podcasts of TexAgs Radio, The Louie Bellina Show, or Chip Howard? Look inside the Pod Center at Zone1150.com. Don't miss a single rant, guest, or moment. You can download or subscribe to any and all of your favorite shows inside the Pod Center at Zone1150.com. There's also a special selection where you can find select interviews from David, Louie, and Chip. Look up Zone interviews inside the Pod Center at Zone1150.com. Download or subscribe, but don't miss out. Check out the Pod Center at Zone1150.com.
When we walk, when we reach, when we play, we're moving through life. But an estimated 80% of Americans aren't getting their recommended daily amount of physical activity. It's time to move and keep moving, America. And when you need help, physical therapists and physical therapist assistants are by your side, because we are meant to climb, to dance, to soar, to thrive. Choose to move. Choose physical therapy. Visit ChoosePT.com.
Get connected and be in the know with the Zone. Follow us on Twitter at Zone1150. Like us on Facebook, Zone1150. Subscribe to our daily newsletter at thezone1150.com. This is KCNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. College Station and Bryan firefighters respond to an apartment fire yesterday.
Firefighters arriving at the scene saw flames coming out of a second-story window of a single building at the Pearl Apartments in College Station. In a Facebook post, CSFD stated that several residents were displaced and no injuries were reported.